From Two Up by Scooter to Australia by Michael Marriott. In early July 1956, Michael Marriott and his wife Nita set off from England on a 150cc NSU scooter, their destination Australia, their intention to study the Aborigines on Melville Island in the Northern Territories. Their epic journey, recorded in Marriott's book, is a very readable account. I will take a short snippet from this with the intention of enlightening railway enthusiasts as to one of the more dangerous practices followed at this time by railway operatives in Mount Isa, a mineral mining town where Marriott found employment to replenish his dwindling funds during the final leg of his journey in Australia. Having arrived there almost penniless, he was given employment on the railway. On the Monday morning I started with the Queensland Railway as a trainee shunter, and after 3 days was pronounced fully fledged and put onto shift work. At the end of 10 days I was just beginning to grasp what it was all about, and that first fortnight was the toughest I have ever experienced. For 8 hours a day I ran like a scalded cat up and down those dust-choked marshalling yards, chasing runaway wagons, switching kangaroo points, clinging desperately to a speeding engine as we whooshed round the balloon, making up strings of hoppers, frantically swapping D-links, and generally trying to follow in a dazed, sweat-soaked manner the mysterious and utterly bewildering railway game. By the end of the first month I became reasonably efficient, that is, I could jump on and off the speeding engine with a sure foot. I could wrestle with the handbrake on a runaway fly-shunted wagon full of copper ingots from mine, and apply the wretched thing before the truck smashed into the back of a made-up train. I could jump off the engine and race the iron brute to the points and switch them before the 20 tons of metal thundered past, and I mastered the delicate art of catching on. In England, I believe, the shunter uses a long pole to catch on. This is simply the operation of linking a stationary wagon to a moving one. In Queensland, they scorn all mechanical aids for this process, preferring to do it by hand. I sweated a good deal before I perfected the operation, and it wasn't all from exertion. The method is to lean the body across the buffer of the stationary wagon, catching hold of the steel link, which weighs about 1/2 weight, and start the thing moving pendulum fashion. The engine fly shunts the next wagon, and this free-running monster comes charging down the track towards the standing wagon. The object is to swing the link and drop it onto the spike of the approaching wagon at the precise moment when the impact compresses the two buffers close enough for the link to stretch over both hooks. If the chance is missed, the stationary wagon goes hurtling down the line. A lot of time is lost, and the engine driver gives vent to his annoyance in no uncertain terms. So if possible one does not miss. It takes a day or two before one can overcome the almost irresistible urge to jump clear of the last moment, for if the buffer were to break while the body was stretched across, one does not think of this, only of making a clean connection. The shunters are the elite of the railway yards. After a month I passed my unofficial test with the rest of the team, worked a shorter shift than anyone else, for it was undoubtedly a more strenuous job, holding a strong element of danger and requiring quickness of hand and eye and the agility of an acrobat. Our trademark was the horse-hide gloves with which we caught on, and when the shift was over we would walk into the porter's office, proud of our grease-blackened forearms and wringing wet shirts, which clung damply to our backs. We were paid 6pence an hour more than the rest. Marriott survived this experience of the railway game for the next 3 months, by which time his wife and he had saved enough money to continue their adventure. They retrieved their repaired scooter and continued northwards.